Ladies and gentlemen, hey, welcome to this Monday's edition of Late Night Real Estate. Hey, I just wanted to draw out our attention to our new logo here, the Pumphrey team of Cummings Company Realtors. Jennifer designed this. We got a bunch of shirts made up. I think it looks pretty snazzy, a little bit bigger, easier to read, and I love it. I got one of these for every day of the year, 365 different colors. So you're probably going to see these quite a bit. Tonight, we have Motivational Monday and a special surprise as well. So I'm going to jump right into it. Tonight, we're going to talk about investing in your future. If you're not investing in your future, why not? What's stopping you? Let's talk tonight about identifying what is getting in your way. Okay. Is it credit? Well, you can fix your credit. There's a couple of ways to do that. I've said before, you can go to myfico.com. You can call one of my lenders. You can call my credit guy. You can call me if you don't remember any of that stuff. And let's get your credit fixed. It's not unfixable. Okay. It didn't get that way on accident. You're not going to fix it on accident. Let's make it a purpose to do that. Second, time. We all have the same, I think it's 168 hours in a week. So we all have the same amount of time, yet some people manage to be successful. Other people don't. I run out of time on a daily basis. So use your time wisely. Make sure that you're using it for the things that you need to use it. Be intentional with your time. Make sure you're spending it on things that you intend to spend it on. Next, money. Yeah, this is a tough one. Create a budget, save some money. Okay. You're going to have to do that. Maybe you're going to have to work a little bit more. Maybe you're going to have to spend less money. There's definitely ways to save money. I want you to do two things. Invest in yourself, education, experiences, destinations, all of that stuff. Invest in that. Your health, definitely. And then take care of those you love with money. Money is not the root of all evil, but it can provide you with opportunities. And I'm going to talk to you tonight about how to make some of those opportunities happen. Okay. So tonight, I have something stuck in between my teeth. Sorry, it's going to drive me insane. Tonight, we're going to talk about ways you can get your offer accepted. Okay. Keep in mind, once rates start to slide down a little bit, everyone is going to be jumping off the fence at the same time. The ground is going to shake. Inventory is going to dry up, and we're going to see prices start rising again. Now, I'm not saying they're going to go up 10%, 20%, or anything like that, but any rise over the steady 5% rise that they've been going at a steady rate is going to seem like a lot. And then people are going to be like, well, I'm going to wait. There are people that have been waiting now 4 or 5 years. I've seen lots of clients sadly just say, I'm going to wait. And they're still waiting. And they're still renting. And, I've got this couple, I'll just call them A and J. And they have been waiting now for like 4 years. And they're just still waiting. And they've spent over $100,000 in rent that they could have been putting into a house, their house. But they missed out on it. So you can lead the horse to water, but you can't make it drink. Okay. So tonight we're going to talk about ways to get your offer accepted. And the last one is going to be fabulous, and you're going to want to write it down. So let's jump right into it. These are some tips and tricks that we have compiled. Some of these are better than others. The last one is sure to please. So first, we're going to just jump right into it. Number one, and these are kind of in reverse order, but some of them are better than others. Give the sellers free rent back. You can charge them rent back. A lot of people have a hard time with letting people get something for free. But if you give them a free rent back, say 2 weeks to move out, a month, something like that, they may take your offer over somebody else's offer just because you gave them the ease of getting out on a slower pace. So keep that one in mind. It doesn't cost you very much, etc. Waiving inspections. Now, you're never going to hear me tell you to not do inspections, but you can waive them. You can waive the right to do inspections. You can also bring your inspector and do a walk and talk while you're looking at the house, which actually gives you the ability to have them really kind of alert you, hey, maybe I should do an inspection on this, maybe I shouldn't. but you can also do inspections for informational purposes, or you can have an inspection cap as well, which says that, you're going to do inspections, but if there's something that needs to be done, you're only going to cap it at a certain amount, or you're only going to ask for it if it exceeds a certain amount. Next, sometimes you can use the seller's preferred title company, especially if they are buying something at the same time. If you use the same title company, then a lot of times they can get things done faster, more expedient, and without as much hassle. Again, you have the right to choose your own title company, but you can choose their title company if you want to. An escalation clause. An escalation clause says that if there's an offer here for $500,000, I will make my offer $501,000 or $502,000 or $503,000. And what you will do is you will always beat out another offer by a certain amount, whether that's $1,000. At $500,000, it's not going to make a big difference at $1,000. But if you say you're going to beat it out by, say, $2,000, then if someone bids $500,000, you're bidding $502,000. And then, of course, you're going to have that capped, so it doesn't go up forever, because you could just go right off the scale there. So an escalation clause is where you agree to bid a little bit extra, and you want to kind of think outside the box here. If they're asking $500,000, don't do an escalation clause to $510,000. Do an escalation clause to $511,000 or $512,000. Think outside the box. And if everybody's watching this, then everybody would be thinking outside the box. You can pay your own agent commissions, which actually then would allow your seller to keep more money, and it would be more advantageous to them. Another thing that you can do, and that would not require a appraisal gap, which can be tricky. The next thing is you can put more money down. If you're doing a conventional loan and you're putting down, say, 20% on a $500,000 house, that's $100,000 already. When you go to put the deposit down, the good faith deposit, the escrow amount, you should put more than $2,000 down. If you feel pretty comfortable and confident in the house, maybe you put $5,000, maybe you put $10,000 down. Okay. Next, this one goes without saying, make it non-contingent upon the sale of your current property, if you can do that. So talk with your lender. How much buying power do you have? Can you make it not contingent upon it? In this market, unless your house is really a dud or you've priced it wrong, it's going to sell. So chances are you probably won't have any overlap in your payments anyway. Pre-inspection. I talked about this earlier. You can either do a pre-inspection before the offer, or you can do a walk and talk where the inspector walks with you and points out things that might be problematic. And that comes at a lot cheaper. It's a lot faster and allows you to move on the contract faster. Next is a shortened time frame. Most people that put their houses on the market, they want to sell them tonight. So if you can do a shortened time frame where you get everything done faster, a lot of times the lenders especially will be very cooperative with this, and they may pre-underwrite your loan, which means they'll send your information to the underwriter to make sure that you're good for it. And all they have to do now is review the appraisal, etc. You can actually waive appraisal contingencies as well. A lot of times if you're putting 20% down, the bank will allow you to waive it. And if they don't, you can also waive it yourself. Waiving it would mean that if it under appraises, say, go back to our $500,000 house, you're buying it for $500,000, you bid $510,000, you waive the appraisal contingency, which means if it appraises for $500,000, you're still paying the $510,000. What that won't mean that you're going to raise how much you're paying the house at all, but what that'll mean is that if it appraises for $500,000, your loan is going to be based on $500,000. So if it's a 20% down payment, you're putting down $100,000 on the $500,000 thing. If you waive the appraisal contingency and let's say it under appraises, then you'd be putting down $110,000. Or if you put down $100,000, it would look like you're only putting down $90,000, which means you'd have a tiny PMI payment. It would probably be less than $10 a month. And then you could, recast that when you sold your house. This gets a little bit complicated, but essentially If you waive that appraisal contingency, that tells the seller that you're going to pay what you're offering to pay, no matter what the appraisal comes at. Okay. You can pay some of the seller's closing cost expenses. You can pay for part of their taxes. You can pay for, whatever you want. You can pay some of their fees. You can pay in a gap between the appraisal and what it is. So you may not pay it all, but just say, I'll pay $2,000 over what it appraises for up to the top limit. You can also take conventional financing even when VA or FHA or even USDA, less commonly used. But if one of those would be a better deal for you, you could still do conventional. Conventional is the type of thing, conventional financing is the type of thing that most people want. So if you can do conventional financing, it's going to look better. If the house has any problems at all and you're doing VA or FHA, the sellers are going to be terrified of that. Okay. In addition to increasing the deposit, you can also increase the down payment. So if you were only putting 5% down, maybe you can make it so you put down 8% or 10% or whatever the case may be. Okay. And then obviously you can get pre-underwritten. Certain lenders will do this and they'll provide you with like a preferred borrower sheet of paper that says, that you've already had everything. You can also have your lender call the seller's agent and talk to them as well to make sure that they know that you are solid. Okay. You definitely want to use a local lender. You can have escalation clauses with no cap. You can just pay an unlimited amount. And here's the one you've been waiting for. This is the one that you need to write down. First of all, you're going to need someone who can take a look at the MLS, analyze how many showings are they getting, what type of offers, where's their price to value ratio, where are they already at, what should you offer, what other offers have they had, who can get the information out of the listing agent. Who can do all that? We can. Okay. So what you can do is you can get yourself an agent who will investigate this stuff, who will look into it and will come up with a plan, not just a hope and a dream, just a Hail Mary at the last minute, which sometimes works, but it's much better to go in and have a plan and know what's going on so that you can construct a formula for crafting the best offer, because the best offer is not always necessarily the highest one, but the one where the seller gets what they want and the buyer wins the bid. The important thing that you're looking at here is that you win the bid and you beat out everybody else. Okay. So if you have any questions about that, yes, by all means, give us a call. I'd love to talk with you before all of this craziness began, but just, be warned. I warned you. I'm putting it out here. It's Monday, March 25th. Remember, our motivation today was to just get it moving. Okay. What you need to do is, invest for your future, whether that's buying your first home or your second home, or investing in the stock market, or investing in your future, or a business that one of your friends is starting or something like that. Put yourself in a position where you can invest towards your future. If there's anything we can do to help you out with that, we're here all the time for you. Thanks. Have a great night.